Time, I'm basically going to go through almost every single channel that I run. Of course, I'm going to have to blur it out because I don't want to leak the niches. And I'm also going to talk about every channel that I've worked with this year. We've worked with over 50 channels. I'm only going to show around 30 in this video, but we have a lot of channels that we've worked with. And I'm kind of just going to hit Control Tab and go through every one of these so you can kind of see the results that we're getting across everything right now. So here, let me just go through it real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, boom, 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 bam, bam, bop. So there's a lot of channels that I've worked with this year and also ran this year as well. And I've learned a lot. And I want to take this video to kind of go over everything that I've learned, everything that I think you should know. And coming from a guy who has gotten over 20 billion views this month, or sorry, this year across everything, I think this video will be pretty important for you if you want to make videos and make money online in general, right? Because that 20 billion views is across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, right? YouTube is around 16 billion views this year, and everything else kind of adds up. I don't really do too good on TikTok and Instagram. It's only around 4 billion. Still good regardless for the circumstances that I've been put in right now. So anyways, let's talk today about basically everything that I know about YouTube that's going to help you guys out. Coming from a guy who is scaling a lot of channels and just getting a lot of views every single year at this point. It's been the best year for me, especially the past 6 months. That's when I've seen the real exponential growth. If you go back in the beginning of this video and you just like look through all the control tabs I did, you'll see that a lot of growth has happened the past like 6 months or so, because that is when a lot of channels I started working with as well started growing because I started working with them, and that's when you see the exponential growth for a lot of channels. I will also, be transparent. Not every single channel that I showed there, I don't exactly own every single one of them, because some of those are students that I work with, that I personally have helped scale, and some of those are also partners as well that I have partial equity in, and then some of those, of course, just my channels that we run as well. Anyways, let's talk about basically everything that I think you should know, and summarizing the 2025 landscape and all the information that, we're going to need to know going into 2026. Because, we are actively running like 36 channels right now here. Actually, I can go back and show you, like, if I hit switch accounts here, you'll see all the accounts we're running right now because we have a buttload of channels. Like, it is a very long scroll because we're running a lot of channels right now, right? So, I want to take this time to really explain it. I'm sorry I'm kind of yapping, but let me get straight into it. First things first, you need to understand the actual value of your views, right? Because not all views are the same. Some channels that I run, we only get 20 million views per month, and we're making like 4K on these videos, right? And then some channels, we're getting like 140 million views per month, and we're making like 6K, And these are real numbers that I'm putting in here. This is like USD, 6K, 4K. And, the crazy difference is when you actually learn to maximize your RPM, you will make a substantial more amount of money because you're basically targeting a very niche amount of people. Now, how do you actually increase your RPM? I'm going to basically just name drop a couple of different niches that are kind of killing it right now. So right now, anime commentary, especially with a dub anime that's doing really well in the United States, is doing very well for RPMs. We have a couple of students right now in that niche, and they are crushing it. We also have a couple of commentary channels in the anime niche that is just crushing it as well right now. Another really good niche that is just absolutely crushing it is NFL, bro. Old NFL commentary. Basically talking about old games, interviewing old players, and just basically clipping it and uploading it to shorts. Dude, this is nearly a 50 cents RPM. I'm not even joking. I'm not gonna, like, of course, leak the channel, but I'm sure if you guys just do a little bit of research, you'll find it. We have a 50 cents RPM for this channel, and with 20 million views, we've made $4,000 this month. And it's gonna keep going up. And this is a new niche that I've tapped into. And just in general, anything related to baseball, basketball, football, older commentary, interviewing older players, and just making an entire channel around it, just crushes for RPMs because you have these old white guys who are watching your videos who just increases your RPM an exponential amount. And this is how we've been able to make so much money, this year. This year has been the most amount of money I've ever made in my life. Because all thanks to social media and YouTube, bro. And it's only going to go up from here. As AI increases, we're going to be able to basically, use AI to increase the amount of output we put in to our content, and this is going to also increase the amount of views we get and, of course, money. I also want to talk about AI RPMs because there is a way to basically use AI to increase your RPM. When you are generating clips, right, you want to make sure you're generating white men as your focal points for whatever videos you're generating, or make it in a United States setting, right? I'm telling you guys, I know it sounds a little controversial, but if you basically have more white people in your video, you will have higher RPMs. And a lot of you guys are watching this probably aren't white, you attract to what you watch, right? So if a lot of you guys are, for example, I know from Indian, you probably watch me a little bit more because, I look Indian, even though I'm not. I'm Trinidadian, but that's besides the point. You attract to what you watch. So if you make basically videos around white guys, right, or maybe black guys, and you're targeting United States people, you will have people from the United States watching your content more because that is where a lot of white people are and a lot of black people are as well. Also, same thing for UK as well, very high RPMs as well. So basically, white guys is kind of my key to actually increasing RPMs as well. It also goes for the AI voice that you're using as well, right? The AI voice you use is very important. And a lot of you guys know 11 Labs. There's this guy named Adam on 11 Labs. It's basically the best AI voice you can use. It's basically just sounds like a white guy, right? And this also increases RPM as well. And guys, some people may be offended by what I'm saying right now, but this is just the facts. This is just what it is. And I utilize this to my advantage to basically increase my RPMs across a lot of different channels and make a lot of money off this. Now, I also want to talk about some other things with animals. Now, animals is a completely different side topic, but I want to kind of go over it now. When you are making animal videos, you will notice that if you make animal videos, let's say you're making dogs, right? Your two top audiences will be, US, and then it'll be Brazil. Now, why is United States and Brazil the top audiences for animals? The reason why is because in the United States, we basically have a lot of different pets, and dogs is basically one of the most owned pets in the United States. And then in Brazil, one of the most owned dogs, one of the most owned animals in Brazil is also dogs. So you'll notice that you have US and Brazil high audiences for like dog commentary or dog ranking. And I'm gonna take this a step further. The RPMs balance out here, right? So Brazil RPMs aren't too high, like around 6 cents. And US RPMs are, around 50 cents if you're targeting just United States. So you notice like a 24 cents ish RPM if you're doing like dog commentary. So this is just an example, but I want you guys to implement this example to your own channel. What are you making content for? In business, we call this the ICP, right? ICP stands for Ideal Customer Persona, right? Who is your ideal viewer, right? I could take this a step further and say ICV, which is your ideal customer viewer, or sorry, IVP, which is ideal viewer persona. And what is your ideal viewer? Right? And if you're in a niche, think about the actual people watching this. For example, if you're making anime videos, bro, you're probably going to get a lot of people who are like American who like anime and a lot of Japanese people who, probably don't even speak English. And you'll have like a really big contrast there. But if the videos are commentaried in English, then you'll have only English speakers, which is why anime RPMs are so high right now, right? Same thing for NFL, right? Who's going to be watching this? Probably a lot of older guys or people like black people or white people who care about watching football, right? Straight up. That's just how it is, guys. So I want you guys to take this information, think about your IVP, all right? Take a little notebook and who it actually is, right? Who are you targeting? What's your views actually, supposed to your video is actually supposed to go toward. I always think about this when I'm making videos. Even these videos I'm making right now. Like my ICP or my IVP for this video I'm making is a person who makes YouTube videos who wants to make money online, right? And if you're watching this, you are probably that person because I targeted you pretty well, right? And if you're watching this far in the video, that means the value I've given has also, targeted you very well. I think about everything in terms of this, right? And I'm going to keep going through a lot of information here because this is going to be a pretty long video and very in-depth and a lot of stuff that I've learned this year. Another thing that I've learned is jump-starting videos through collaborations. So there was a new feature on YouTube called collaborations, and collaborations basically allow you to be able to collab with someone else, right? Now, a couple things with collabs. First, I want to say the do's, and I want to say the don'ts, right? So make sure when you're doing a collaboration, you do it to a channel that is lower than you and you are the collaborator, right? So let's say you have a bigger channel, right? If you are a bigger channel, you would basically want the person uploading the video to be the smaller channel, and then you want the bigger channel to be the collaborator, right? I hope that makes sense. Basically, if you have person A and person A should be the main video, which is a smaller channel, and person B should be the person being a collaboration on that video. This helps jumpstart both channels further, and it just gets overall more views and builds a different audience, right? So this is the biggest do. AB. I'm pretty sure you guys understand that. Now, for the don'ts, make sure you don't make a collaboration in different niches. If you are making, for example, let's say you're making Roblox videos and you do a collaboration with someone who is making, I don't know, like iPad reviews, it's not going to be a good collaboration because the audiences will not mesh, right? And if the audiences don't mesh, it'll actually hurt both channels. So don't collab with someone who's in a different niche than you. Only do it if it's in the same niche. For example, if you're two Roblox channels, two ranking channels, two YouTube growth channels, doesn't matter what it is. Just make sure you're in the same niche. If you don't, you'll screw yourself up big time. Awesome. Okay. Another thing that I want to talk about is your upload frequency. So uploading every single day is very important, but I actually want to take this a step further, and I want to talk about something I learned called front loading. And I learned this in David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, and he talks about this military term called front loading. Now, what front loading is, it's basically doing a lot of work before it actually needs to be done, so you're prepared. You need to be prepared. And I'm uploading this video on the 24th, which is the day before Christmas, and I front loaded basically a lot of my videos on a lot of channels. I have basically everything scheduled out in advance for Christmas because when you front load content, you basically have content ready, right? And you guys, anytime you have free time to make content, instead of taking a break, trying to relax, you should be spending that time putting more time toward content, right? Because then you have more videos scheduled in advance, which saves you more time to make more content. And it's an ever cycle of just uploading more videos. And I want to talk about scheduling posts later because you can also schedule community posts as well, which has been huge for growing my monthly audience across a lot of channels and getting higher RPMs, which I want to talk about in just a second, right? But front loading has been so important for me to just learn how to get videos scheduled in advance. This has also helped me on my ideation process because now that I don't make videos just every single day, right? And of course, guys, I don't run every single one of these channels. I have teams in place that obviously help me run this because I'm not uploading 36 videos every single day. I have 6 managers and I have 112 editors who work underneath me, right? But the ideation process has become a lot easier because we front load ideas and then we break off to different ideas as well. Now, the ideation method is very awesome because this is what Mr. Beast does, right? Once you find something that works, you can basically replicate that idea until it's milked dry. For example, let's say we were doing $1 versus $1 million Roblox skin, right? You could basically take that and apply it to any different niche and any different topic in that sub niche. $1 versus $1 million computer in Roblox. $1 versus $1 million map. $1 versus $1 million challenge. And then you basically just do the interchange the names and the words for the different topic. And I've seen this with so many of my students where they were struggling and they had a good idea, and I would tell them like, bro, you had this good idea, why don't you just do it again and change up one little thing? They do it and then they go viral, right? For example, a lot of you guys do ranking, right? You guys probably know Rankzilla. And Rankzilla has had a couple, very viral videos, like the trampoline videos, right? His trampoline videos get hundreds of millions of views. If you see it working, go do it too, right? And then basically just make a ton of different trampoline videos, and then boom, your ideation is just unlimited, right? So if you see a good idea that works, do it again and again and again until it's milked dry. Now, I've also had this question as well of like, when do I stop doing this and when do I know I've basically milked it dry? When you consistently start getting like 8 out of 10s or 7 out of 10s on the videos that used to get you 1 out of 10s, that's indicating that your niche or that sub niche of that sub video is probably getting old. Also, if you notice that your reoccurring viewers is basically becoming too high on those videos, that's also a good sign you should probably stop. Last thing, if your competitors are basically all uploading those videos, that's your sign to get up your tail and run and go try to do something else. Because when there's too many competitors doing it, usually it doesn't work. There are exceptions for that. But first, I want to talk about front loading again with community posts. So front loading is awesome for community posts because community posts basically do two things. I'm going to say compost for this. Compost, like you're gardening. But when you're doing community posts, I basically do this for all of my channels now. I schedule posts in advance because it lets me build a separate recurring audience. So if I actually go to, one of my channels real quick, and we go to audience here, if you actually go here, you'll see your new viewer, casual viewer, and regular viewer ratio. All right. So what these three ratios are, it's basically a good indication of where your channel stands and how likely you are to get pushed out on your next video. If you have around a 50-50 split, and I'm talking about 50% new viewers and 50% casual viewers plus regular viewers combined, is that the 50-50 split, then you are in a good spot. If this new viewer ratio is at 25%, then you are in a bad spot because YouTube is basically determining that your audience is only going to watch your videos and they don't think new audiences will watch it. And it's pretty hard to climb out of the 25% spot. I've had a couple students that have been stuck there and had to start new channels, which is okay. It's okay to start new channels. But this is a very good percentage to be looking at. Now, what's awesome is there are three different stats here. The casual viewer and regular viewer are a little bit different. A casual viewer is someone who's watched a couple of your videos over the course of the past month. A regular viewer is someone who watches almost every one of your videos. If you want someone to watch every one of your videos consistently, make community posts, and when they engage with your posts, they will actually tune into more of your videos, and YouTube will push out those content more. Now, what actually should you be posting on your community posts? Newsflash, it does not have to be anything related to your niche. It just has to be very broad. What I do a lot of the time is I basically make community posts like apples versus oranges or red versus blue. Always use image polls. Image polls perform a lot better. But if you do something like red versus blue or apples versus oranges, make sure the images are there and schedule them for the next month. I use ChatGPT to just generate all of them for me. I basically take 30 minutes out of my day per month, schedule all of them out, and that's it. And because of that, I basically increase my regular viewer percentage, and ever so slightly every month, my monthly audience goes up, which increases the amount of money I make. Next thing I want to talk about is monthly audiences. Now, a monthly audience basically determines what the guaranteed amount of views you're going to be getting every single month. And this also guarantees basically how much guaranteed money you're going to make every month, because we want to make money consistently over a longer period of time, right? We don't want to just make money one time and then screw off and then boom, we're broke again, right? We're trying to make consistent money because we are operating as a business owner. If you're operating as a YouTuber or a kid in your basement who's, I'm going to go viral and make some videos, that is not where you should be operating from, right? If you want to take this thing to the next level and run the type of scale that I am doing right now, I operate as an entrepreneur, not as a YouTuber. I am not a YouTuber. I am a business owner, right? I own a multimedia empire of channels. So if you're operating as I am a YouTuber, it's not going to help build this monthly audience. When I am building my monthly audience, the first thing I think about is my monthly audience actually going to tune into the content I'm consistently uploading? Is the content I'm making replicatable, rewatchable, and am I going to run out of ideas? So when I do this, right, I'm thinking those three things. Now, if the content does not meet that criteria, I am probably going to reach a plateau at some point, which is why some people reach view plateaus. And the way to fix this is honestly just starting new channels if you're in a view plateau like this. I have so many channels, bro, and starting channels is completely okay. It's completely okay to start new channels, all right? Starting new channels, a lot of people get emotionally attached to the channel they run, and because they get emotionally attached, they basically have this urge to ride or die with only their channel. Newsflash, you don't need an age YouTube channel to basically start a new channel. All you need is an age Gmail. The age Gmail needs to be 6 months old. If it's 6 months old, you're good. You're in the green. Go start a new channel and start making more content. Now wait, before you start that new channel, if you're already making money on your current channel, maximize the views first, right? I've kind of created this term called view maxing, right? I created this term in 2025 when I really started scaling everything up. And view maxing is a term that I've created to basically maximize the amount of views that you are getting. Now, a view max on a channel is basically when you reach the plateau where you basically are getting hundreds of millions of views per month, and then you're at a spot where you can't really push anymore. If you notice all those channels that I went through, a lot of these channels, like I'll show you here, a lot of these channels kind of peak out around 100 million views, 150 million views, you know? And the reason why is because view plateaus are a real thing. Because when you're getting continents worth of people watching your videos every single month, then of course you're going to hit a view plateau because there's only so many people in the world. Now, if humans start making more babies and the babies have enough iPads to watch our content, then yeah, we'll be able to increase our view max. But I've noticed around 160 million is when you notice a kind of dip in your views, unless you're in a very broad niche or you are a lead industry in your niche. Now I want to talk about trust score. So trust score is another term that I created. I've noticed a lot of kind of people in this space have kind of started copying me with this, and I love to see it because it means that I'm making an impact. People are seeing it. But your trust score basically determines how likely you are to actually get pushed out to the algorithm in the first place. Now I dropped a 1 hour course for free on YouTube, how to basically increase your trust score. So you can just go to my channel and watch it. It's 1 hour, and it's like a red thumbnail. It's pretty awesome. But that video is packed with information, just like this one is here, but it's more organized. So you'll be able to basically maximize your trust score and get the most amount of views possible. For example, for one of our students, let me see if I can find it in our haystack of channels here. Um, let's see. Here it is. Yeah, one of our students, we basically scaled up super quickly. I mean, if you go to like the past 28 days, we started this channel very quickly. We scaled it up. And because we maxed his trust score before we started uploading, we made a lot of money, and he's currently, he had like a $1,500 day a couple days ago. By the way, the student name is Adam. Guys, go check out Adam's interview as well. It's also on my channel. I think it was like 2 videos ago. Just go like look up like Adam's interview. He went from $0 to $10,000 a month in like 6 weeks. Pretty crazy interview. We get some pretty crazy student results for a lot of the students that I end up working with and enter in the Source of Wealth program. But yeah, maximizing your trust score can basically help you make a lot of income. So maximize your trust score, bro. This is something that I learned how to maximize more recently, and because I have so much data and so much channels that I work with, basically all the information that I give is always up to date, right? So you guys can kind of see that we're going in a very elaborate information. Let's look like a snake almost, how it looks like here. The next thing I want to talk about is understanding the age and the location of where your people are watching from. And by location, I do not mean demographic. I mean the actual device they are watching on, right? A good way to tell the actual age of your audience is actually the device they're watching on, because the ages don't really matter, right? Like if we actually go to this channel here, we scroll down, we look at the ages, we'll see like 13, 18, 25, 35, and like, we have 36% United States, and then we got like 61% mobile. Now, for a lot of Roblox channels, you notice that like tablet and TV are a lot higher because kids do not have phones, right? So if you notice that like your tablet or TV is at a much higher percentage compared to like your mobile phone, you are probably having a lot of kids watching you, which is why your RPM may be decreasing. For example, for this channel, we had a pretty high RPM because we had like 36% United States, and then we had a pretty high percent of people watching mobile. Now, the only issue with this is Because people were watching mobile, people probably weren't lying about their age, and we had a very strong male audience, which is great because men tend to have more money and be able to increase their RPMs. But if you haven't see a good split like this, you're in a pretty bad spot. If you see a 35 plus age demographic with United States and mobile, you are in an amazing position. This is where you get like 50 cents RPMs, like a couple of the channels that we've ran have gotten. And this is usually when we, go back to like the NFL, sports channels, anime commentary with English. Another thing I want to talk about is when you actually do commentary, in any channel, if you do English commentary, you will see a double in RPM. So this is kind of anti-view maxing, right? Because what's awesome about view maxing is I get a lot of views. I'm basically the view guy on YouTube. Devin Sianath is the view guy. Now, on view maxing, right? When you're trying to max to get the most amount of views, you'll notice that you'll get views from all different places around the world, right? From India, from United States, from Brazil, from the Philippines, from Japan, from Australia, you'll get people from all around the world, and you basically worldwide max these views because there's only so many people in the United States who watch videos every single day, right? So you get a worldwide amount of views. Now, what's bad about this, as your RPMs will decrease as you get more worldwide recognition on your views. Now, if you do a target on a sub niche, basically when you're targeting a certain demographic of people, your RPMs increase. So the downside of view maxing is you decrease RPMs, but if you get enough views, you can basically just make a buttload of money, right? And that's what I've done here, right? I basically just maximize my views across everything, and now I make a ton of money across all the channels we run, right? So this is what you can do. And a couple of channels, like we have a channel that has 600 million views this year, and the RPM is like 40 cents, bro, because we basically just do advanced targeting with language. If you don't want to use language, you will see a decrease in your RPM, but you will see an increase in your views because more people can understand it. I hope that makes sense. Basically, if you use language and you speak English, RPM increases, views go down. If you don't speak English and you basically do visual commentary, or you're just not doing any commentary at all, then your views go up, but your RPM goes down. Both can make an amazing amount of money. I prefer view maxing because I like seeing bigger numbers. Personal preference. And also, my lifetime goal is to get 1 trillion views. We're at like 27 billion lifetime generated views right now. So, we're kind of not really getting there. But, we're making progress. We're still ahead of most people in the game right now. But the next thing I want to talk about is, does the device you upload on actually matter? Because I see a lot of people worried of like, hey, if I give someone access to my channel and I upload and like let's say they're from India or something, is that going to affect anything? And it does not, right? You can upload from any IP address. There's no IP banning. I have a lot of channels that upload, a lot of videos that upload from this IP that I live at right now, and I've never had a problem with IP banning, right? Also, a lot of people worry about terminations. Just use different LLCs as well. I use different LLCs to basically avoid terminations because LLCs basically it helps you dilute risk. So I usually use like one LLC and then 6 different channels. I've also heard that you can basically do co-LLCs as well to have umbrella LLCs to basically make it so if one channel gets banned, the rest don't. Yeah, and then like for verifying channels, I have different phone numbers that we'll use, my parents' phone numbers. We can also use other phone numbers as well. Don't use Google phone numbers though. Google phone numbers are not a good way to verify, and we talk all about that in the trust score video, of course. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I kind of wanted to talk about today. There's a lot more information that I could drop, but it's 2:50 a.m. and it's December 24th, so probably gonna end this video here. I just wanted to make a video for you guys and drop some info because I'm pretty happy with how this year has gone, and I'm gonna keep uploading more videos like this, of course, and helping you guys out. And we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so Source of Wealth Nation is growing, bro. I'm really happy to see it. We've also have a Discord server as well. If you guys want to join, it's gonna be linked in the description. You probably see like a free course plus Discord like link or something. You go there and sign up, and we'll put you in the Discord. And dude, I mean, we've changed so many people's lives this year. The amount of students who I've helped make $25,000 plus is like it's in at least more than 2 of my hands, which makes me very happy. And we've had hundreds more students hit like $5,000+ months. So yeah, I mean, this year has been the best year for me. I've basically made a lot of different life changes. I was able to move out. I was able to basically buy a lot of different things that I wouldn't be able to. I wasn't really stressed about, anything this year other than just progression, which was amazing, bro. It was an amazing experience to be able to scale all these channels. And, it's only the start, bro. You guys, I mean, if you looked at the analytics I showed earlier in the video, like a lot of those videos or those channels, like they're just bumping up because I pretty much mastered the algorithm at this point. So now it's just scaling, right? And I will continue to scale and I will own hundreds of channels and I will get 1 trillion views. Remember Devin Senath, bro. We're gonna keep scaling. Anyways, I hope this video is helpful. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. And make sure to subscribe if you learned anything from this video, because we drop sauce like this every couple of days, or I'm gonna try to do every single day for you guys as well, because I want to put a lot more effort into this channel. In 2026, this channel will take over the entire YouTube space because we give so much information for free, and I don't sell a course, right? Because selling courses is pretty gay, and I don't like selling courses. If you want to work with me one-on-one, though, you can apply to work with me down below. Anyways,